The secretive local authority that runs London's Square Mile has come under fire for lavish spending, including subsidising its own members' club and supporting a trio of private schools, at a time when funding for vital public services has been slashed. The Labour Party said the City of London Corporation was now in desperate need of reform after figures obtained by The Observer detailed spending on a luxurious dining club and bar, grace and favour accommodation and multi-million-pound support for elite schools. Current and former councillors can enjoy the privilege of using the Guildhall Club, offering heavily subsidised fine dining in a bar where spirits cost just 60p a measure. More than £200,000 has recently been set aside for a refurbishment of the club, where catering and bar costs came in at more than £500,000 last year, partly offset by income from private events. Other spending by the corporation for the most recent year has included £576,000 for banquets and other hospitality provided by the Lord Mayor and lunches for judges at the Old Bailey. An even larger chunk of spending over the same period included more than £4 million given to 3 elite independent schools in Surrey and London, dwarfing the £556,000 spent on 5 city academies. The money comes from a controversial fund known as City Cash, a combination of funds and endowments built up over centuries. The corporation has doggedly resisted opening up the fund to scrutiny, only providing basic details some years ago after facing pressure over its use for lobbying for the financial sector. However, a new generation of young councillors at the corporation has begun to press for reform, while the body faces the potential for radical change should Labour take power soon. The party's shadow chancellor, John McDonnell, has described the corporation as a rotten borough which should be abolished. Andrew Gwynn, the Shadow Communities and Local Government Secretary, said, "This lavish spending does little to challenge claims that the City Corporation is little more than an old boys' club, instead of being an authority committed to providing services to residents and workers." The city resisted the changes that established democratic local government in the rest of the country, and now it is in desperate need for reform. Thomas Anderson, a recently elected councillor on the corporation and a Labour member, warned that the body needed to show it reflected the diversity and modern working practices of the city if it was going to be taken seriously on issues such as Brexit. "We are accountable to the people who live and work here, and I just can't believe they would be happy with elected councillors enjoying 3-course lunches and subsidised claret while we have been cutting services," he said. On the funding for the elite schools, the City of London School, City of London School for Girls and the City of London Free Men's School, Anderson said, "I am simply unable to justify to my electors that we run, sponsor and subsidise these 3 private schools to the tune of several £million every year. This money belongs to all Londoners, and there are much better ways it could be spent."